Rain poured over the dark city streets as if heaven itself was mourning. A woman wrapped in a torn gray blanket sat under the flickering streetlight beside an abandoned coffee shop. Her name was Mara, a once promising nurse who had lost everything: her home, her job, and the faith she once had in humanity. Every night she slept beside a cardboard wall, listening to the distant laughter of families inside warm homes, clutching the only thing she had left, a small photo of her daughter who had passed away years ago. The world had forgotten Mara, but her heart had not forgotten kindness. That night, as thunder rolled across the sky, she noticed smoke curling up from the next street. At first, she thought it was just another alley fire from careless teens. But then she heard it, a scream, a child's scream. Without thinking twice, Mara dropped her blanket and ran barefoot toward the noise. A small apartment building was engulfed in flames, the orange inferno painting the sky red. People were screaming, fire alarms blaring, and chaos filled the air. "Someone's still inside!" a woman yelled. Through the smoke, Mara saw a tiny face pressed against a window, terrified eyes staring down at death. Without hesitation, she sprinted toward the burning door. "Mom, stop! The firefighters are on the way." A man shouted, but she didn't hear him. All she heard was that child's cry, the sound no mother could ever ignore. She covered her face with a piece of wet cloth she found from a bucket, kicked open the door, and disappeared into the blaze. Heat slammed into her like a wall, and her skin screamed, but she didn't stop. "Hello, where are you?" she shouted, coughing through the smoke. "I can't see you," a faint sob answered. Following the sound, Mara stumbled into the living room where a small boy, no older than 6, was hiding under a wooden table. "Come on, sweetheart. I've got you," she said, her voice trembling but steady. She wrapped the boy in her blanket and carried him toward the stairway. But half of it had collapsed. Flames devoured the wood in front of her. Her eyes darted around desperately until she saw a narrow window half open. "We're going out this way," she whispered. She used her own body as a shield, kicked the glass, and climbed out onto the ledge. The crowd below screamed as they saw her. This ragged homeless woman holding a child in her arms, standing against the fire like an angel. "Jump! We'll catch you!" someone shouted. Mara took one deep breath and leapt. The world slowed down for a second, the rush of wind, the roar of the flames, the heartbeat of fear, and then they landed in a pile of blankets and outstretched arms. The crowd erupted in relief. The boy was safe. Mara was burned, coughing violently, but she smiled faintly as paramedics rushed to them. "You're safe now," she whispered to the boy before her eyes closed. Hours later, at the hospital, the doctors said she would survive but needed treatment. The little boy kept asking, "Where's the lady who saved me?" Meanwhile, news channels started covering the story. Homeless woman risks her life to save child from fire. The photo of Mara's suit-covered face and bleeding hands went viral overnight. People who once ignored her now called her a hero. But in a tall glass building across town, a man was staring at that same news broadcast with trembling hands. He was Ethan Cross, one of the richest CEOs in the city, a billionaire who had built an empire from nothing. His assistant rushed in. "Sir, are you okay?" He didn't answer. His eyes were fixed on the TV on the woman's face. "Find her," he said quietly. "Now." The assistant blinked. "Sir?" Ethan's jaw clenched. "That woman, find her before the media does." No one knew why the CEO suddenly seemed shaken, why his eyes glistened with emotion. But deep inside Ethan's heart, memories long buried began to awaken. Decades ago, when he was a poor child, someone had saved his life during a house fire too. A nurse named Mara Collins. Could it be her? The same woman who had vanished years ago after a tragedy that had destroyed her world. Ethan didn't want to believe in coincidences. He grabbed his coat and stormed out, his luxury car cutting through the rain. Across the city, Mara lay unconscious in a hospital bed, unaware that her life was about to change forever. Reporters swarmed outside, trying to get a glimpse of the homeless hero. But before any of them could enter, a convoy of black cars arrived. The hospital guards froze as the CEO himself walked in, his expression unreadable. He pushed open the ward door and saw her, bandaged, pale and fragile, yet still glowing with a strange dignity. Ethan's throat tightened. "Mara?" he whispered, almost afraid she wouldn't hear him. Her eyes fluttered open weakly, trying to focus. "Dull, I know you," she murmured. His voice broke. "You saved me once, and today, you did it again." Tears slipped down his face as he knelt beside her bed. Cameras outside flashed, but inside that small room, it felt like time itself had stopped. Two souls, once broken, once lost, had found each other again in the most impossible way. But this was only the beginning. Because what Ethan was about to reveal would not just shock Mara, but the entire world watching her story unfold. And if you're still here, remember, sometimes the smallest act of kindness can rewrite a life's destiny. So, if you believe in the power of goodness, hit that subscribe button, because in the next chapter, the truth behind Mara's past and Ethan's mysterious connection will leave you speechless.